we go.
Oh, Queen.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Blogstock. We were doing a pop-up hangout earlier on, about 10 minutes ago, and I did say that I was going to come back because there were a couple of speakers I really wanted to get hold of who've been talking in the marquee behind us, and had some really interesting things to say about responsible travel, but in this case, really world wildlife travel, I guess, is the area that we were covering. And they are both Mark Avery, who used to be with the RSPB, Senior Conservation Officer, I think you said? Conservation Director. And Mark's since gone independent and is a prolific blogger and writes about not just birding, but also, as you were saying earlier, I think a rampant socialist. So I went to his Twitter feed, and all I could see there to start off with was the political stuff, particularly about immigrants at the moment. So lots of, this guy is opinionated, so opinionated that you actually write how many blogs a day?
At least 2, sometimes 3, but it is every day. So you'll find something to amuse, inform, or sometimes irritate you every day.
And also Dan Bradbury. Dan's from, I'm not sure what the job title is actually, Dan.
Well, it's fancy. My job title is Head of Development for a conservation organisation called the World Land Trust.
And you were talking about how the World Land Trust works, and actually the connection between you guys is that you're, I think, on the council.
I'm on the council.
Yeah.
And Dan does lots of work.
Yes, yeah. Dan does the work. So we should start with Dan then, and just explain what it is that you do.
So, as an organisation, we've been going for 25 years, and the primary objective is to save threatened habitat. So, and we do that by a measure of, basically, we save real acres. So, our theory is if you save the land, you save everything that's in that. So there's a real quick example, a project in Armenia where we created a reserve which combined several other reserves. So it created this larger area. And after a short period of time, because it was safe and protected, you had things like wild goats running around, bezoar goats, which then becomes a prey species. And then a couple of years later, we now have leopards, which is kind of less than 70 in the world of these leopards roaming around. And we now have one in a reserve in Armenia, and one hadn't been seen for, I think it was 15 years. So that's a real quick synopsis of what we do.
It is. You can't imagine a better, as the marketing people would say, key performance indicator. I mean, that is a box you can really tick. Yeah. We've got a tiger. That must have been so exhilarating.
Yeah, it was kind of an amazing one, especially as when it arrived. We just got this really small piece of footage. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see it on there. And it had something like 27,000 visitors to see this tiny little bit of tail. And we had a world-renowned expert who actually disbelieved and said it wasn't actually the real thing, and said it was it's a man with a stick with a country top at the end of it. And then the next video we got this leopard filled the entire side of the screen, and you saw this big spotty screen. And then probably about 2 years ago, or about 2 years ago, we ended up getting footage of the whole leopard on the side of this mountain, just surveying the area in absolute pristine condition. He just looked really healthy, and just kind of loving his life.
It's a really simple and elegant idea what you do. You're buying land in order to be able to, as you say, to protect everything that's on that land, but actually not just everything that's on that land specifically. Quite often what you're doing is you're buying tracts of land between already reserved or preserves, bits of forest, for example. There's a classic example of this down in Sarawak in Borneo with the orangutan.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So there's basically, one of the things we do is we call them wildlife corridors. So you have an area of rainforest that's under protection and can have orangutans, habitats in it. They don't like to travel open ground. Then there's a bit of palm oil plantation in the middle, something like that. And then there's another piece of forest. Now, if you can combine that, what you can do is you can effectively treble the size of this reserve. And also what it does is it means that the gene pool increases, because you've got orangutans in one area that don't want to go, don't want to move on. They're all in there, and it's all coming a little bit close. And then you've got another here, and they can associate to it. But actually, if you join that together, they can become one community of orangutans. And that, like I say, that gene pool increases, and then there's less interbreeding. So.
But one of the things that's really difficult about this is that, unlike other NGOs and charities who would go into an area where there are people or things in need, and you can apply, as it were, whatever it is that you do, your speciality, Médecins Sans Frontières, directly to the problem. You are faced with actually having to find those pieces of land and then almost instantly deal with a significant price hike, because when they see you coming, it goes up.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why. So every single one of our projects is through an international NGO. So us as an organisation, we don't actually own any of the land. So we have one reserve, which is down in Gloucester, which was left to us as a legacy. But these where we work with the partners overseas is we work through local NGOs. Mm-hmm. So it's all about these local people. They know the land, they know what's there, they know the people who are involved, they know it extremely well. Mm-hmm. Now, if we turned up in these countries and said, well, actually, we want to buy all this land, all of a sudden the price would go, say, just as an example, would say go from £15 up to, I don't know, £200, £300 an acre. Mm-hmm. So if it's done by someone in the country, they know the price, and they don't say, well, okay, there's a load of outsiders coming in, but let's whack this up and make a load more money out of this. So we get it at a sensible price. We've had places where other organisations have gone in, things have been bought, and the price of land has increased. So, and that's what we try and avoid. But the main reason is because actually we want it to be the local community, we want it to be the local organisation who actually owns this project, and because they know it, they can manage it.
I'm going to ask you about what your hot new projects are in a moment, but I just want to turn to Mark because you're wearing some of your your hot projects. I don't know if you can see this. This is the Hen Harrier Day, and in the talk you actually kind of illustrated it by stripping off and revealing the cause of the problem for hen harriers. But let's not do that now. Why don't you just tell us what this is about?
Okay, can I just say a couple of words about the World Land Trust first, because they are really good. They're a really good organisation. I'm a council member. It's the only organisation that I've agreed to be on the council of, and that's because I think they're great. And it is a very simple idea, but it works. We give them money, so you give the World Land Trust some money. They do a lot of due diligence. They find the best places, good places for wildlife across the world, good organisations to look after them, places where the money will do the most good. They spend the money and the world's a better place. It's simple. So that's why the World Land Trust is good. My campaign at the moment is about this bird,
the hen harrier.
The hen harrier. There should be 2,600 pairs of hen harriers in the UK. There aren't 2,600 pairs, there are about 600 pairs. 2,000 pairs are missing, and that's because they get killed. Why do they get killed? They get killed because they eat red grouse. Why do people mind them eating red grouse? It's because people want to shoot red grouse. So hen harriers are terribly unsporting. Before the so-called glorious 12th, which is when the grouse shooting season starts, hen harriers will eat red grouse, and people who will spend a lot of money, tens of thousands of pounds for a day's red grouse shooting, don't like hen harriers. So although hen harriers are completely protected in the UK, have been since 1954, they get bumped off. So that's a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing, and there are various ways we could deal with that. And I've written a book about it called Inglorious, which is 100,000 words on what you should do. But the simple thing to do would be to Google ban-driven grouse shooting, and you can find an e-petition which you could sign up to. And that would be great, because it's had 15,000 signatures in the last 6 weeks. And although driven grouse shooting won't be banned tomorrow, if you sign it and you get your friends to sign it, then government will take notice. It's going to take a while, but we're building a movement here.
Bird project, if you
and
like.
Eating Pringles.
And eating Pringles. Du jour. But there are always, I mean, in your career, there have been dozens of species in danger, bird species in danger. In amongst it all, it's not all tragic. Sometimes there are successes, aren't there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the RSPB, who I worked for 25 years, have done a brilliant job. As just to take one example, there's a bird in the UK called the bittern, which is a heron-like bird, and when was it? Late 1980s, it was down to 13 males.
Oh wow!
Because they make this booming.
Even I can work out that's not sustainable.
That's not very many. That's not very many. There are now hundreds of them because their habitat's been protected, it's been restored, and bitterns are doing fine. So, if you find the right species, if you do the science so that you know what species needs, and then if you've got the money, the wit, the people, the resources to tackle those problems, we can make the world a better place. And the world is a better place for bitterns. You know, they're great. They're funny little birds, but we shouldn't live on this planet and carelessly get rid of the natural beauty that should be around us, and Bitton's a part of that. But you're right, there are loads and loads and loads of other examples.
Dan, for you, what's coming up? What are the projects that you're now working on?
Well, there's two things. So one of the reasons we're here today is we're here with air parking.
I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly where I was going to bring you guys.
So airport parking hotels. And so who are one of our corporate supporters. So we get funding from individuals, but we also get from corporates. And one of the ways they do it is they've reduced their carbon emissions, but also they offset what carbon they do produce with us. Now, so one of the things we've also created, and why we're here, because there's a lot, we believe there's lots of travel bloggers, is that we just created something called My Flight Carbon. Oh no, myflightcarbon.com, which is a website where you can go on, and in a matter of clicks, you can donate the value of your flight, offset your carbon emissions that you use on travel. Then on top of that, we've got another big project starting where we've got a big appeal in October, a 2-week appeal with fronted by Steve Backshall as well, where some generous people have said that if we can raise £250,000 from the public, they will give us £250,000 to match it. And this will complete another wildlife corridor in Ecuador.
Okay.
This place is just incredible. The biodiversity in this place is just staggering. So if you think in the UK, I think as well, we've got 499 species of bird. If you include all the ones that turn up randomly, you're talking 1,600 species of bird in Ecuador. Wow. Yeah, I think it's something like 2% of plant life or plant species there. So,
and this is one of the great things we were talking about in there is that this is when you are donating, this is project specific. So you are donating to that corridor.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know where the guys are on the hangout, but so for example, if you were from Brazil,
usually responsible tourism ones, I'm guessing that maybe Ron Marder. They're in the States. Ethan Gelber, people like that. Very much across this kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So what we have projects all over the world. So quite a lot in South America. So you've got places like Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay. Then it's Central America, so Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, all those. But we've got projects in India, Armenia, Iran, Vietnam, Borneo, in the Philippines. By nature of our name, we're across the world, so we're a land trust. So all you can do is you can go to our website, and on our donations pages, if there's a particular place that you have particular interest in, you can donate directly to that if we've got a project there. We're not going to take it. So if we're raising money for a project in Brazil and we need £25,000, once we've got the £25,000, we stop. But if you still want to put money towards projects like that, we have other mechanisms. So we have the Action Fund, which is about donating to our most urgent appeals. So I've mentioned one where we've done something in Nepal after the disasters over there. But it's all simply, it's quite a complicated website for me to manage in terms of we have all these projects, but you can find your way around it easy. You can donate to any of our projects on there.
We're here today at Blogstock. It is 300 bloggers, lifestyle bloggers, family bloggers, mostly travel bloggers, and fashion bloggers who you may have seen walking behind us a degree of elegance to a campsite in a field than any of us. I try. Exactly. And you guys have been talking about responsible tourism. You are a blogger yourself anyway, but I noticed that your talk finished some time ago, and you've still been out there and catching up on ideas. Is that for you yourself? Has that been has it been as much a learning thing for you as it has been a getting the message across thing?
Yeah, it's good. I've learned a load of stuff actually. So I went to a bit on video blogging because I've kind of thought about that and not done it. Think I probably won't, but I found out some stuff about it. Went to another talk about Instagram, which was a brilliantly given talk. It was just a fantastic talk. So I was quite. I was watching the person giving the talk, who's called A Lady in London. Don't know what the real
Julie Falconer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, she is a great speaker.
She is a good speaker. Yes.
So I was watching how she was speaking, getting some tips from that. Although I'm never going to be a lady in London. But then she was talking about Instagram, which is something I don't know much about. And again, I'm probably not going to do it because but I will go and find out a bit more. But it seems mostly about images.
It is about images,
which is what I
yes,
thought.
exactly. And for you guys, that's very rich territory. Pinterest too is, Pinterest. I think one of the things that's interesting about Pinterest as opposed to Instagram is that something like 80%. Instagram. Something like 80% of the pins are not original. In other words, you find a photograph of a bird or something that you think is spectacular, you just pin it onto your board. But equally, if you get much more traction if you can put your original stuff in as well. So for you, it's a kind of a I was going to say a lazy way of doing it, but you can stick your own photographs in occasionally.
Okay. I can do lazy,
but also be using other people's material as well, or at least recirculating other people's material as well.
Well, I'm learning from you.
Exactly. So there we go.
No, it's been really good.
It's what Blogstock is all about. And for you, you've been talking to bloggers presumably about coming out and working with you. I mean,
yeah. So basically, one of the reasons why we thought this would be really useful is that obviously we're a small organisation. We've been going 25 years, and not too many people have known about us. But if we can work with bloggers who they're travelling, let's do these things in the right way. But a bit like Mark and Bill were earlier in the talk, is if you visit these places, you can inspire people. You can let people know what's happening. You can tell them all about it. And I think that's really important. We're not saying don't go to these places, but if you're going to go, travel in the right way, tell them about it, and make sure you inspire somebody to do something about it. And for us, it's great. And if we can get some bloggers, I've been chatting to a few who have said, look, we want to visit some of these places. We want to do some writing for you. We want to tell people about you. We want to tell people about your carbon calculator, and the corporates you work with. Then, that's amazing for us. That's why we're here. We can just inspire those guys to help support us, and they can get into an even wider audience.
It is great because bloggers are out there. They're already there. It's like you don't have to fly them out or find somebody who'll pay to fly them out. They're already traveling around those areas.
If they're going to those places, visit those places, visit our partners, and talk about those projects. But if you're going to go to any of these countries, is make sure that you're going through an organisation that has an ecotourism program, because then that money so they do visit our projects, and that money goes back into those reserves, and these places become sustainable, which is what we want. We don't want to just have to keep funding them. Is that they can become sustainable, they have their own program, and then they manage themselves.
Dan's knees are creaking now, and Mark has run out of Pringles. So I think we're gonna call it a day there. But thanks for watching. Later on, I'm going to do it may be in the form of a hangout, but it may just be a simple live stream onto YouTube. The final panel debate, and that'll be somewhere around 6 o'clock. But as you already know, these are flexi times, so we'll see how all that pans out. So for now, bye for now, and I'll see if I can find the off button and actually hit it this time. Last time I failed miserably.